Good morning, traders. You guys know where you're at. Live trading with Benzinga, where we get after it, whether it be day trading, swing trading, investing, cryptocurrency, or maybe just some bombs from Nick Brown, of course, bringing in some news headlines. If you guys got a catalyst you guys want to check on, a top stock you guys want to trade, let us know in the chat. That's what we're here for, guys. Live trading with Benzinga. Let's get it started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. Let's bring on the boys. We got Ryan Faloona. We got Nick Brown, of course, back in the chat. Let's get it after it. And you guys know it. Like I mentioned, if you guys have a catalyst, hit up my man Nick. He'll definitely take a look into it and see if he can find some more details for us as we get into the market today. Like always, be careful out there, traders. It is a big earnings week. We'll talk a little bit about the earnings coming up, some earnings that have hit, and keep your lookout, of course, FOMC meeting tomorrow. Then on Thursday, you will be getting what? GDP outlook. And then Friday, you'll get PCE. Honestly, one of the biggest weeks of the year, of course, as we get the biggest stocks to come in tonight after Microsoft, Google, those will shake things up. I know Nick Brown and I will be looking into the earnings reports and trying to count the AI mentions. We'll see what happens there, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna have fun with that. I'm gonna actually look it up to see if we could be the first to mention how many AI mentions were in these earnings report. That'll be something that Nick Brown and I do a little later today. And stay tuned, because I'm actually getting Nick to kind of jump into some different show content, right? Stay tuned. We're going to be putting out a brand new show coming soon, guys. I'm working to try to get this out next week, but sometime next week, it'll definitely be coming out. I don't have a specific date, but I can tell you guys, it is something that I've been truly working on and truly going to bring this kind of TV content that we do here, this financial content, to another level. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be in the later part of the day, of course, around 3:30 to 4. And that's also going to include my man, Nick Brown. Let's get to the stock action. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. I do have some swing trades. I'm going to quickly run through these. Then we can go through some of the headlines, some of the stocks that are out there today. Of course, the Qs have been kind of going sideways here. We'll see if we can get that uplift. Yesterday was able to make a really nice trade in stock sell. I'll look to see something like that today. Valet going pretty good here, up there towards 1524. Of course, I've had this since 1401. Swing trade looking great, up 8.8% now, almost 10%. As the market opens here, I'm going to probably take some off and then look for it to keep riding higher towards 16, 17 total profit outlook. I'll take it all off there if it could ever get to 17. We'll see what happens there. Ross Stores going higher. That's one that I have. I'm going to look for this to continue. Yesterday, TJX made an up move. So that's going to be one stock that I'll watch to continue making that up move to see Ross moving higher. Hilton, I've talked about Hilton. I'll keep watching to see if it goes back up above 150. I have 149. I don't want it to break 149 today, so it's right at 149.99. If it comes down through that entry price, I am going to get out. Because why? Because the one thing that you don't want to see is the stock drop to 145, and then you lost $5 when you were up $2 just waiting around for a little bit bigger profit. So this is kind of more of a time. Hey, this should already ran. This should have got to 155. If it doesn't get to 155 today, it could easily go back to 145. And I don't want to stick around for that type of downside action. BJ is one that I'll continue to watch. I'm looking for those to go higher. Walmart got a raise of ratings today. That's up there towards a 160. I mean, look at the chart. This is at a new all-time high. As Walmart continues going higher, I'm going to look for Costco to continue going higher. Look where Costco is now, 567 when it was just at 500. We were looking for that 500 break, had multiple chances to get that 500 break. Now you're up there to 567, almost looking like it wants to go to 600. We'll see if it can get up there and continue this discount store run. Last one that I got yesterday, I just grabbed a little bit of PXD. This is oil names, right? Yesterday, I sold my Valero, which was a really nice sell. Really nice little gain there. Now I'm going to be looking for continued pullback in oil today. I think what we can get is an inside day. So I'm going to be looking for pullbacks to add and to help get a better average here on PXD. We'll see what happens today. If it does want to go to the upside, energy, I think, takes a little bit of a sidestep today and maybe keeps going later in the week. We'll see what happens. All right, that's my stock outlook. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my man, Ryan. He has multiple things that he's going to cover for you guys. Just do us a favor. Like always, smash the like if you guys enjoy us. Keeping going at a fast pace. Let's go and do it. What you got for me first, Ryan? What are we going to get into?
Well, you said it first. This is a huge week of earnings, and this starts earnings season. We also have the Fed on Wednesday, which is probably also the biggest earnings day. And then, of course, we get some data on Friday that's going to be really important. So important to keep in mind what's going on. This morning, we did have Verizon, GM, and GE, Spotify, and 3M report. Those are probably our biggest ones. I'm going to have Nick cover those. But keep in mind that after the bell today, we have three huge ones, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Visa. Obviously, want to see how those tech stocks report and trade. Visa might give us an insight into how the consumer credit is doing and all of that. Texas Instruments might even be important. Snapchat, I know a lot of people play that. We saw some huge call sweeps last week for Snapchat. Maybe that will have in effect here. So huge week of earnings. Keep some of these names in mind, especially the ones that report after the close today. We might see some action during the session ahead of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at Benzinga Pro here. First, let's take a look at the SPY. This is, of course, SQQQ. Let's get SPY up there. All right, so SPY, we're still kind of trading sideways here. Really kind of waiting to see what the next move is. Are we going to break up or break down? If we break down 444, it looks to be the spot where we might get a bounce, or at least a short-lived bounce. If we really start to sell off, the target area that I have is right in this purple zone in here. This range is about, let me see if it marks it on the calendar. This range is about from 425.50 up to 430. So that area in there should be some even stronger support if we do accelerate on a sell-off. Now, as far as some of the smaller stocks to watch here, again, and we're going to have a lot of stocks to watch with a lot of the earnings prints that Nick's going to cover here, but BFRG is going to be one of the top ones. We do have a catalyst. Bullfrog AI shares are trading higher after the company announced U.S. patent for novel prodrugs of mebendazole, and their use in treating cancer. Now, the thing about BFRG here is this has actually come on 3 times here in the pre-market, right? We had that initial run-up, pull back to the VWAP, came on a second time, pulled back to the VWAP, came on a third time. So let's note that pattern and see if we can take advantage of that pattern should it continue into the regular session. BFRG definitely going to be on watch here. Next is going to be ELBM. This is Electrica battery makers. They spiked as high as 3. They've really kind of come back in and traded right around the VWAP here. If we take a look at this, I saw a PR yesterday, but I didn't really see any news today. So let's see how this trade's going to rely on technicals to provide us good entry and exit here. Next one is going to be Marked Forge Holding. This had a big day yesterday. Didn't trade this one yesterday, but it looks as if we've had some continuation today. We're getting a little extended in the pre-market, but we did pull back to this VWAP. So let's see where we are when we open, and if we get more of a momentum run here. Excuse me. No news on this, so this just looks like a continuation of yesterday. One more thing to mention is DFLI. Remember, a number of people made some really great trades in DFLI yesterday. This is actually up again here today. One of the big things I'd like to see is if 310 falls and we take out that pre-market high. I think it's probably a pretty good bet that we go test 325, and then we'll see if we break that. We do have some AMC ape news here. Apes trading up. I'm going to skip over all of this. I'm not going to trade AMC or anything like that. And then there were a couple of more that you folks were mentioning. I think it's probably worth mentioning, taking a look at GFAI. This one has really been kind of on a run recently. Let's see if we get a bounce. If we do, 802 not out of the question if things remain strong. TUP, let's talk about TUP. This was a really big one yesterday. We are a little weak here, down about 8% in the pre-market. But one of the things you can see here is we're really kind of holding this 139 level. So let's see if we bounce off that again, reclaim the VWAP, and then make a move towards these highs on TUP. I think that's Crow. You were mentioning XPON. I didn't take a look at that today. Perhaps shame on me. Let's take a look at XPON real quick, and then I'm going to turn this over to Nick. XPON. It does look like it's popping here. Did we get news on this yesterday? Yeah. So yesterday after the close, we got Expion 360 and Mayer distributing expand national sales and distribution partnership. So it looks like we got that piece of news yesterday. It is holding it and trading it up here today. So we'll see where this ends up going. This one also on watch. Nick, what do you got for us?
I was going to say, if you could throw up a chart of Whirlpool, they reported earnings last night. Ongoing EPS of $4.21.
Ticker, bro, ticker.
WHR. There we go. They reported earnings of ongoing EPS of $4.21, better than the expectations of $3.78. Revenue $4.79 billion, slightly below expectations of $4.82 billion. They reaffirmed 2023 earnings guidance, and they still see full year revenue about $19.4 billion. Estimates were for $19.21 billion. NXP Semiconductors, NXPI is the ticker. Adjusted EPS $3.43. Estimate was for $3.29. Revenue $3.3 billion. Estimate was for $3.21 billion. They see Q3 EPS of $2.68 to $3.10. Estimate was for $2.64. They see Q3 revenue of $3.3 billion to $3.5 billion. Estimate was for $3.31 billion. That stock is trading, I believe, higher pre-market. Spotify, ticker SPOT, EPS. So I did convert this from euros to dollars. EPS came in at $1.71. Revenue came in just below expectations of $3.51 billion. Estimate was for $3.54 billion. Number of monthly active users rose to 551 million in Q2, beating Spotify's guidance and analyst expectations of 526.8 million. Premium subscribers, who account for most of the company's revenue, rose 17% to 220 million, beating expectations of 216.6 million. And they see Q3 monthly active users 572 million. Estimate was for 548 million. If you could throw up Dow Inc., ticker Dow, they reported operating EPS of 75 cents. Estimate was for 69 cents. Net sales $11.42 billion. Estimate was for $11.34 billion. Operating EBITDA came in at $1.53 billion. Estimate was for $1.52 billion. They will continue to execute near-term cost savings actions and actions outlined in January, on track to deliver $1 billion cost savings this year. General Electric, ticker GE, they reported earnings this morning. Adjusted EPS 48 cents, above expectations of 46 cents. Adjusted revenue $15.9 billion. Estimate was for $15.7 billion. Adjusted free cash flow $415 million. Estimate was for $153.1 million. They see full year adjusted free cash flow $4.1 billion to $4.6 billion. Saw $3.6 billion to $4.2 billion. They see full year adjusted EPS to $2.10 to $2.30. Saw $1.70 to $2. Estimate was for $2.05. General Motors, ticker GM. Adjusted EPS $1.91. Estimate was for $1.86. Revenue $44.75 billion. Estimate was for $42.82 billion. North American adjusted EBITDA $3.19 billion. Estimate was for $3.43 billion. They see full year net $9.3 billion to $10.7 billion. They previously saw $8.4 billion to $9.9 billion. Estimate was for $9.37 billion. And they see full year adjusted auto free cash flow $7 billion to $9 billion. Previously saw $5.5 billion to $7.5 billion. 3M, ticker MMM, adjusted EPS $2.17. Estimate was for $1.73. Sales came in at $8.33 billion. Estimate was for $7.86 billion. They see Q3 adjusted EPS $2.25 to $2.40. Estimate was for $2.47. Raised the adjusted EPS guidance. Still see full year organic sales to -3% to 0%. Full year adjusted OCF $5.9 billion to $6.3 billion. Saw $5.8 billion to $6.3 billion. I know we're open. We didn't. There's Verizon. They reported better than expectations. They beat on the top line adjusted EPS. They did miss on the revenue. They still see full year adjusted EPS to $4.55 to $4.85, above expectations. Biogen, they reported better than expectations on the top and bottom line. They reaffirmed the forecast. They still see full year adjusted EPS. They plan to cut 1,000 jobs. And Kimberly-Clark, they beat on the top line with EPS. Revenue came in at $5.13 billion, in line with expectations, and they're reiterating what they see for full year. Ryan, you're muted.
Thank you very much. While you were doing that, I actually just scalped BFRG out of the open. So nice little start there. Bang, bang. Let's get going. Green on the screen early here, folks. I got a good feeling about today. One more thing to mention here. Mitch talked about his swing trades. I actually did take a new swing yesterday, but it is a complete lotto, so keep that in mind. I actually bought the September 2.5 calls for cooler here. This, again, is a lotto. I spent a whopping total of $50 to buy those 10 contracts. So just mentioning that I have it and I have some exposure here, I'm okay with letting that go to zero if it doesn't work out. If it does, maybe a couple 100% gain there. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at what's moving around here. ELBM, this actually might be breaking out here. That did take out that pre-market channel here. 224 was that spot. Let's see if I can get some entry on this. BFRG pulling back. ELBM coming back off that spot that it just took out here. Some big sales coming in here. This pull actually might be really good. Okay, I'm going to try. Oop, that didn't fill. What happened there? Okay, trying some ELBM here, 224 entry. Let's see if we can get this rolling on ELBM. There's 228. Let's keep pushing here. See if we can get rolling here. If this comes back in, now that I'm green, if this comes back in, I'm just going to stop out flat, but hopefully this moves higher. Here we go through 30. ELBM, let's see if we can pop this up. 304 is your pre-market high. That's a long way away, or at least feels that way. ELBM. Brought in a bid there at 231.
Watch NVIDIA. There's a new blog out saying the NVIDIA DGX Cloud now available to supercharge generative AI training.
Oh, NVIDIA PR there with AI. Here we go on ELBM. This looks like this is going higher here. Come on, ELBM. A little bit of a pull there. Okay, I'm going to take ELBM off here as we go back through 230. I'll wait for this to set up again. 237, the high print on this move that I have. ELBM, nice little green on the screen there. Yeah, we got room here. I agree, Crow. Just you're going to try to protect it just on one of those first trades. We'll see. We're coming back into my entry spot here, so if I get another chance there, that might be good. BFRG, by the way, came back into its VWAP. How is it not on my list? It's trading up right now. Come on now. Let's go ahead and load that one up. Why is it not there? BFRG. You could see here. Let's actually turn some of these moving averages off. So we can see, oh, I got to add VWAP to this chart. Sorry, folks. All right, so you can see here on BFRG, we came back into VWAP and bounced, came back into VWAP again. Here's things really all over the place. I guess I'm lucky I got out with a gain on that first one. ELBM coming back here is now below my buy in there, so I'm glad I just took those gains real quick. GFAI looking good, says the chat. Let's take a look. Oh, GFAI, big move out of the gate here. Missed this one, but this might keep going here, GFAI. As far as a trade for me, I'd actually wait for a setup and a pullback here, just because I don't have it right now. WIS taking a look at APLD, so just making sure my bird's not about to get murked. All right, APLD, nice. This is a nice one here too. Looks like this is trying to take out the pre-market range here. Let's see if we test any of these highs from yesterday. That would be interesting. ELBM higher now. 240. Tell you, take your eyes off this stuff for just 1 second, and it goes without you. VWAP on ELBM 217 now. Any type of return back to that VWAP and a hold there would be a decent entry for me. So we'll see if they pull this back here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so ELB, I'm sorry, I'm just still getting stuff set here. APLD, that's still moving here. Sure is. Nice trade there, Crow. Looks like you hit GFAI and ELMB or ELBM. Crow. ELBM looks like this is trying to go higher here. 246, a little bit of a spot there. I really want to buy this on a pullback instead of buying the range break. Whoa, BFRG really kind of fell out of bed there. We'll see if that sets up again. APLD still going. Topist is saying, I'd be careful with GFAI. Indeed, we're trading some risky stuff that moves around here. It's a really good advice to be careful with it. How's 3M doing out of the gate here? Okay, so we were higher in the pre-market on 3M. Now we're taking the next leg higher here in the regular session.
I was going to say, Ryan, they just issued some guidance. They says that they expect Q3 adjusted EPS will be in the range of $2.25 to $2.40, and they anticipate third quarter adjusted sales to be approximately $8 billion.
Did 3M, when you were going through the notes there, was there anything regarding the lawsuit for veterans?
No, and I can quickly pull up the release and quickly scan through that and come back with more detail.
Okay, yeah, I'm just wondering because that's one of the big overhangs with that company. Sorry, I keep fidgeting here. ELBM definitely should have hung on to this. This one grinding a little bit higher. No real pullbacks to speak of. It does jump down a little bit, but doesn't really sell off here. ELBM, this was a good call here for higher, Crow. You were right. There's definitely some room. Becca calling TUP, saying TUP is down here. TUP down 15.8%. It's down to yesterday's intraday low. Here's to me, this is your last line of defense, right? If it holds this low, maybe we bounce here today and see some higher action. If it breaks this, I think it probably returns to 1, maybe under on top.
To your question, no, the earnings press release is only 4 pages, and there's nothing regarding that.
Okay. Just wondering. I wasn't expecting anything, but because that's one of the overhangs, I was just wondering if there are comments there that were positive that might lead to why 3M is trading up here today.
I was going to say Raytheon, we didn't get to those earnings. RTX, they reported earnings. That stock is off like 9% right now. There were some comments, and I know the pre-market prep crew and Dennis and them were really hitting RTX hard just about some of their services they need. I think their jet or something in the long term is going to need inspected. So that the stock is getting hit hard. But Dennis pointed out that there was one particular seller that was just continuing to sell this stock as soon as the report come out on RTX.
All right, traders. So just want to let you guys know, guess what? What? I still got CCJ, of course. I still got it. The swing trade's on, baby. That's been the moo-moo. I've had this from now 32.63 and CCJ moving up right now at 33.20s. Starting to move higher. So that's looking great there for CCJ. Just want to see that push through the highs right now in the daily. There's multiple highs in the 33.35 range, 33.32s, 33.48s. If it can get past 33.48 today, get up there to 33.50s. We're going to be looking really good here in this swing for CCJ. Of course, Valet also working well here. That did also have some report today and some news. My man Nick Brown can give us that. I even saw it on Benzinga. Benzinga was the one that told me. Of course, if you guys don't have Benzinga Pro, you guys see Ryan using it all the time. Definitely get your 2-week trial. What are you waiting for? Stay up with all the news. Where do you think my man Nick Brown has been killing it from? You guys check it out, of course, Benzinga Pro. All right, let's get to the action. We'll see if Valet goes higher today. I do want to take some profit in probably right now and a little bit here. I'm just looking for one more little pop here to 1530s. I think Valet could get to like 1550s today. Just looking for that nice little pop, and then we'll look to see if it keeps moving. Tech is also on my radar. TECK is on my radar. We'll see about that one. I can show you guys that chart here. That's tech. That's also in the same space, industrial metals and minerals. Really nice move right now towards 43.86. This one looks good. Nice little daily chart alert for me.
WULF Wolf here. This one kind of interesting. If you take a look at the 15-minute chart, we might take out this 373 area. Then we kind of have a double top near 402. So Wolf, if this gets going, we did spike here out of the open, but and on good volume. But if this keeps going here, you might have. Oh, let me get my stream up. You might have a couple of spots here. Again, right here, 372, and then right up here about 403 on that double top on Wolf. That's something to watch. You guys were mentioning RX. Oh boy, is we getting some craziness in RX again. It's actually holding here. Maybe this pushes away from the VWAP. What was the other one? You guys, ELBM firing? Yeah, that actually, I think it's yanking now. Got a little bit of a, let me go back to the 1 minute chart here. A little bit of a pullback to VWAP here. This actually might be an interesting area.
All right, BTU getting hot today. You're looking at coal. Coal's hot. Steel's hot. Copper's hot. Looking for some basic materials as those go higher.
All right, I'm going to try a little ELBM. Tight stop, though, in case this doesn't work. We already got some green on the screen, so we got a bit of a cushion here this morning. Let's see if we can bounce from this VWAP here on ELBM.
All right, looking to take some trades here, guys. Seeing right out the gates here, we got basic materials leading healthcare and then technology into the green, back into the green. What do we got moving up right now? NVIDIA up about 1.36%, moving higher towards 455. I really like how it's starting to recover the 9 EMA with that NVIDIA recovery. I could look at AMD yesterday. What did I say? 110s looked great on AMD. We're back to 112 already on AMD and starting to go higher. I think AMD is looking really good. It just bounced off the VWAP. Daily starting to recover. If we really come back in tech, I think AMD could make that run right back towards 120s. So it's kind of like one of these plays where you're just kind of grinding off the support. The support right now, 110. You got a couple of wicks through. Now you're coming back towards 112. First high, I'd look for 112.30s, Friday's high of the 21st.
ELBM out here on this bounce. We'll see if this sets up again. Doesn't, well, now that I sold it, has more buying momentum. That's about normal. Still also watching Wolf here.
GXD starting to pull back here, slightly into the red here on the bid side, at least. They're going to look for that to pull back a little bit further down. I'll probably be adding to this position down below 217 towards 216.
Man, ELBM, this was a huge move. Look at this. Right down to the VWAP. But now I know I still made money off this, but I piked this one. I'm out way too early. I see AURC being called. Looks like this was out of a halt and right into another halt. This one very, very thin. Careful with AURC.
All right, guys, taking a shot here. Short Lockheed Martin off of that RTX chart. And of course, this is just playing relationships. I'm short here at 451.55, and this is more of a swing outlook here. So of course, I'm just going to let this kind of work off of the 455 spot. So about 4 points that I'm risking here. So of course, lowering the share size to give myself the room, but now looking for this to really take down as RTX is still going down here at 83.60s. Got to get my other chart up there, but man, it's been a crazy start out the gates here. A lot of movement, and it's going to be like that. Right now, it's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of chop. So just be careful out there. And some stocks will make clear moves. We just got to be quick. RS talking about Walmart long. I wonder how that one's doing today. Of course, that one's trying to battle out there. It did have a nice analyst note today. Of course, you guys can keep up with all those analyst notes on, of course, Benzinga Pro.
Benzinga Pro. ELBM looking like this might be coming back to its VWAP. All right, Mitch, I'm going to run to the washroom here real quick now that I have no open trades. BRB, let me get your screen up there.
Yep. And I'll put up my other screen in just a second so we can come over a little review here. And I'll show you the RTX trade and why I'm going for Lockheed Martin. I talked about it in pre-market prep. Probably see that leak. RTX coming down here. Lockheed Martin came down out the gates, but then bounced. So I like that resistance right above now. Just want to see it take a hit, right? So if it takes a hit here down, I can see it taking out 450s, going to 447 and below. We'll see if it starts to really kind of get hit here. And this is not a bad outlook on the daily too, because now you're starting to see some resistance play at 457s. And I want to see the resistance take out the 448 low here on the daily of the 719. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go over to, of course, my Moo chart. And of course, you guys can check out Moo for yourself. Looking to see if CCJ is going to be able to hold here 33s, because I definitely don't want it to break 33s today. We could still have a downside day in some of these stocks. Qs are pretty strong, so tech still seems like the best play. I talked about SOXL before the gate, right? SOXL is actually holding really well. So I'll show you guys that trade here. SOXL was one of my best watches today because I felt tech could get the lift again. And there you guys see it. So it's tried to make this run 3 times. I'm going to look for a little quick pullback here to 250.50s and then look for the move right back through 26. So a little pullback towards a nice little $0.50 spot and then taking a lift. I need the pullback to happen in the Qs here towards the VWAP. We'll see what happens there as that goes higher. TQQ is another way to play this upside move. If you like something a little bit more expensive than the SOXL type of trade, this is just another way to play it. I will take some look out there in the chat. If you guys are mentioning some names, I see Becca talking about Clean Spark. This one's actually not a bad one to keep an eye out for. I do think this is an interesting looking bull flag. So you can see it here. I already can clearly see that, like bull flag action right there. And why is it a bull flag versus a bull pennant? It's because there's 2 trend lines going in the same direction, as I clearly have drawn here. And that's when we're looking to what? Look maybe off that support, that third try off that support to see if we can get in there, risk underneath that for it to come back to the resistance. You could either sell some there and then look for the expansion move higher. It's not a bad one I'm looking at right now on the daily, Becca. Can't blame you. Let's get back to the action, guys. Smash the like if you guys are enjoying it.
All right. ELBM came back into its VWAP, pierced it, but is trying to bounce. See a number of people talking about PWM here. This also having a pretty nice day. PWM, very, very thin, very, very spread, not easy.
PXD moving back, and yeah, that feels like oil's going to pull back today. It's already pulling back, and just got to be smart, right? I can play it to the downside a little bit to like make some money up. So I might make some money up by playing drip today on pullbacks. That doesn't seem to make a bad sense there off of like 1175 on pullbacks. Doesn't look too bad. I'm looking for drip to pull back there. Then I wouldn't mind a little run towards 12. That seems to make sense there.
Jan is done 2 for 2 on trades today, 8 risk win in total. So I think you're using the risk units as part of your trading strategy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a good morning here. You're done already.
All right, CCJ pulling back here. It's going to go ahead and test down here, and it's been kind of playing in this little rule of 3. So I'm really going to give it one more shot. But other than that, starting to cut. XLM pulling back also.
Jay saying SHW, PHM, still decent reaction to the earnings. Jay, are you playing any of these now that the earnings print is out of the way? Like for a swing? Hang on a second. BFRG might be interesting here too. Here we go on BFRG. This is coming up off that VWAP. Nice little push away. I don't want to buy it here. This feels extended to me. I was a little late to this. A couple of you are watching this in here, right?
CCJ pulling back significantly there. So I got to give it the hourly candles pullback, and that's a pullback that could come even to 68s. I'm at 63s, so I got to be careful on this position because it could come back all the way on me. I could take the profits and run right now, which wouldn't be a bad profit. It'd be about 0.78%, but to tell you the truth, I'm looking for a little bit more. Yesterday, I even got a pop there towards 35s. Looking for that run to 33.50s. We'll see if we get it or not.
BFRG nasty pullback here to the VWAP. This is why you got to be quick with some of these, especially on the VWAP bounce. Actually below its VWAP right now. Flirting with that area, but looking like it might go lower here. BFRG.
X pulling back doesn't look too bad for a reversal off 24.88. Multiple times that it's been here. I'd like to see the 5-minute close above 24.85.
IMPX out of a halt here. Good call, Webcoin. This is a penny stock for you penny stock players. I'm not trading this.
Hey, Nick, one stock I'd like you to look up. How are Cleveland Cliffs earnings? Whenever you get a chance, my friend. No rush.
Right now.
Nice reaction to those earnings. Cleveland Cliffs up 4.5% here today.
I think that could help the steel industry overall get the lift today. So I like Steel Dynamics, stocks like that, X stocks like that. I'm looking for Steel Dynamics off of a swing. And so I'm thinking about that right now for the 103s. I'd like to see it cut down below 103s. It just did that. Now I could probably take 104. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of a starter here. If I get a little bit of a pullback below 103s, I'll add. I have a half size right now on Steel Dynamics for a swing.
I was going to say they reported Q2. Cleveland Cliffs reported yesterday, I should say. Adjusted EPS, they missed by a cent, 69 cents. Estimate was for 70 cents. They did beat on revenue, 5.98 billion. Estimates for 5.8 billion. Quickly going through our article in the release, they say that they anticipate another 40 per nut 10 reduction in steel unit costs in the third quarter and another $10 reduction in the fourth quarter. According to Chairman, President, and CEO Lourenco Goncalves, he says, quote, looking forward, we are on pace for our best shipment year since becoming a steel company. Service center inventories are significantly lower than historical levels, creating support for a healthy second half of the year.
There you go. Doesn't look too bad there. And I am long on X here for the reversal. I talked about the trade. You guys were literally watching there. Boom, reversal off the 24.85 level. Now I just need the 5-minute candle on the 9.55 to close above that 24.85 to give me conviction for the move back above 25. Looking for a move to 25.30s today, so this wouldn't be bad. This is about a 40-cent outlook for a 10-cent risk. What does that sound like? 4-to-1 trading, right? You guys know I've been trying to stick more and more to my risk to return on the day trade action. We'll look to see what happens here on X.
ELBM looking like this might be trying to bounce off its VWAP again. There's a little bit of size here at 240 that they need to take for this to go higher. But ELBM might be interesting. Oh, we got to get this off full screen. There we go.
No, it's all good. It looks good on full screen, Ryan. One of the things is your charts are a little bit smaller, so sometimes I like to full screen it so that people can see the exact stock that you're talking about there, right? I do love seeing, you, Ryan, but at the same time, sometimes I like to see the charts also.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I shouldn't argue with the producer. That's for sure. Mitch knows what he's doing. We've seen that on a daily basis.
No, and my biggest thing is that, to tell you the truth, sometimes, Ryan, you call out trades where I won't even put my charts up. I'll look at your chart. Like I look at this right off of it, and I'm like, why do I need to look at a chart if Ryan's showing me it and giving me an analysis, right? True. So at that point, it's not that I'm going to trade this one, but I'll look at it too, and I'll be like, hey, damn, I see what you're seeing there, Ryan. All right, let's go. All right, let's get back to
ELBM pushing higher here. Let's see on this bounce. Curling back up here. This is nice.
All right, my candle's about to close, and this is exactly what I talked about on X. It just even did the attempt to the wash down, and now it's going to close where? Boom, at 96. So that gives me more conviction. Now I have this low that I can go off of that 5-minute candle. 24.84 is the risk. Looking for the break back to the upside. And this is reversal off of this action because there's a lot of wicks here. So I'm essentially seeing that wicking action has more buying pressure there. Of course, if it goes through that level, it could come lower, but I'm looking for the reversal off of that. We'll see what happens.
Out ELBM here. Nice little scalp again. Just kind of getting some lunch money. Just trying to get some lunch money. Well, here's the thing. So now that I'm up, I don't necessarily want to expand my risk, right? Because I don't want to give this back. So I'll do small scalps like this. If this, this has been great so far here today. We've had multiple moves to the VWAP and then multiple scalp trades after that. So I'm okay with that. I'm up on that. And obviously I'm up on BFRG. That one I'm a little bit less inclined to touch, given it's really kind of showing some weakness now.
All right, I will let you guys know that we'll see what happens. I am looking right now to see and Lockheed Martin go lower, and that looking really good now, guys. I'm starting to get into the green on that position. That was a short from 451.55 as Lockheed goes down. And why did I look at Lockheed going down? Well, because Raytheon getting smacked, and we'll look to see if that can continue to get hit. And that's actually affecting a lot of different areas in the sector, right? When you look at the defensive sector today, you're going to see a lot of stocks getting hit. And why is this? Because, well, when one of the leaders takes a big hit, yes, you start to see the others take a hit. Boeing taking a hit even off of this. Boeing is down right now. NOC starting to come down. This one looks like a good one, maybe for a potential short play. LHX also starting to come down. So a lot of stocks taking a hit there on the defensive side of aerospace and defense. And we're talking about in the industrial sector.
Ooh, so APLD, nice trade, Wiss. I know that you exited that on this last push up. Excellent job. Looks like you got some gains there. Here's an interesting one. Here's Compass. All right, if we take a look at the daily chart here, excuse me.
Looking for
we take a look
on
at the
BTU. You got it, Ryan. Keep going.
If we take a look at the daily chart, look at this. Mitch, what do you think about this formation? Speaking of you looking at my chart, look at this daily formation. Doesn't this look like this is trying to break out here on Compass?
Yeah, so that looks like to me like a bull flag pushed right back towards the high. It rejected the high, which was that 419, 420 area. Yep. Now we're coming right back up. And that's what you want to see. So now I'd be looking for increasing daily volume for it to be looking like it wants to be relative, like strong today. And you can see the increasing volume into the move, showing buyers trying to take control through the 420 area, especially. That's what I would see on the daily.
Absolutely. You were spot on. And by the way, looking at 419 right now, there's a little bit of size here too. So I would imagine that if this size gets taken, maybe we pop above here on comp. This is Compass, ticker COMP.
And sometimes to get confirmation of like a level like I'm talking about, Ryan, you want to see like a whole little like kind of stacking or volume there, or like kind of a speed up of volume. So you see how the volume speeding up here at that level. That's also going to give you confirmation that, yeah, you were looking at an important level on the chart.
GFAI at the spot here.
Ooh, 750. GFAI, I like that one. That was a nice little bull flag.
Oh my God. Did you see that? Did you? I couldn't even buy it. I couldn't even pull it up and buy it fast enough. That was wild, boys.
That was a nice one. Bull flag there that you guys could have gone after. And I'll show you guys the rule of 3 on this one a little bit later today, so you guys can learn how to come after these lower names, right? I still play them with the same patterns that I play the bigger boys. The only thing you got to be is quicker.
The craziest thing here is, remember, one of the things that we've been noticing is that upside breaks haven't been giving us those pops that they used to, that we used to capitalize on. Well, you just got one here on GFAI. By the time I pulled that up, I actually saw that block at 750 just disappear and the price jump up like 13 cents. So nice big pop there through on GFAI. That was a good move. I'm sorry I didn't hit that one, honestly. Sorry I didn't hit that one, but having a good day already nonetheless. So we're not gonna get too beat up about that.
Half out there on X, not a bad little first profit there. A little lunch money, right? There you go. I took some lunch money too, Ryan. I can't blame you for taking some lunch money.
That's right.
I took a little bit there on X from 24.90s, got some out there at 25.06. Now I'm going to look for that next nice little expansion move to 25.20s. Really, it's a daily move to 25.30s that I'm looking at, which is this kind of resistance coming into play. So this is how it shows you what multi-time frame outlook. Did you see how on Ryan's we looked at a daily chart for even a smaller name, and then looked at the intraday chart to see the intraday action compared to the daily action? These are always going to help you look for the best type of plays. I feel like always take everything we take with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, that's what we look at a lot of the times. So you're using multi-time frames to get that analysis. Hey, it looks good on the daily, and then it looks good on the intraday. Yeah, I'm a buyer. Let's go find it. All right. I see a lot of you guys out there. Smash the like if you guys enjoy our stream and the way that we come into the markets. We always are in a process first approach. And here you
Yes,
guys
sir.
have X starting to take to 25.12s. We'll look for this to kind of really push. And so also for kind of CCJ, I'm really just going to kind of keep watching. Don't want to come back to my entry today. And I'm going to set a stop at break even on the Moo trade. And why do I do that? Because at the end of the day, I have a rule a lot of the times that if I started a position, right? If I start a position and it goes like overnight, a swing trade, from that point on, I should not lose in the position. The whole idea of a swing trade is to try to expand winnings. And we're talking about my Moo trade here. I got you guys.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So we're talking about the Moo trade here. And the whole idea is to expand the winner, right? And so what does this do? It keeps me from not using my day trades. You can see here I have 3 day trades left, and I've been doing this consistently now, Ryan. I've been enjoying trying to swing trade with this account, switch it up a little bit.
I need to take a page out of your book, Mitch, because I feel like I'd use and do better in my small account if I swing traded. I'm just not used to the balance.
Yeah. You gotta think about it in like the way that you would do it if it was a bigger account. Like normally, I'll just be honest, and like my other side, like my other swing account, this would probably be at least like doubled. But I'm thinking about it in the same way, and I think that this is very important. When you're thinking about bigger sizing, you should almost think about it in the same way that you think about it with smaller sizing, right? Well, I'm looking to try to make about like $1 on this position and probably risk about maybe 20 to 30 cents, right? So what does that give me? That gives me like a 5-to-1 outlook, 4-to-1 outlook. If I'm making 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 to my money on this account, guess what? I can lose a crap ton of times and I'm never going to blow this up. This is the way I'm trying to show you guys. Maybe might be the best way to go about it in small account challenges. But of course, you guys take this with a grain of salt, or just look at the equity curve. Maybe the equity curve can talk for itself, right? Look how I struggled there for a little bit. And why did I struggle and not destroy my gains? Because I kept making sure that the sizing of the loss were what? They were a fourth of the loss of the wins that we were getting, right? And so I can lose like 20, 30 times, and this account is still going to be above the balance. For small account traders, I hope you guys are enjoying the way that we're going about it in the small account challenge.
By the way, here, just real quickly, INPX, this was a call earlier for you penny players. This did consolidate and now take the next leg up here. INPX, this doing good for all of you that are trading that crow. I know you're calling INPX odd here. BFRG was still flirting with that VWAP. It just yanked a little bit, but it's right back on there. I'm going to wait BFRG out. And then it's also worth noting that ELBM sitting right at its VWAP. So potential plays here. I'm not in any of them right now. I'll call it out if that changes.
All right, going to look for Steel Dynamics to pull back to add. Of course, that's my swing trade on today. X looking really great up there to 25.10s. Now I wanted to start holding 25s at this point for the day trade. Won't lose a single penny on X. Looking for it to keep going. And oh man, I got to find where the sound is. You guys know it. You guys know what I'm looking for. We'll find it somewhere around here. Dun, dun.
INPX, man, this is rolling. Ron, good to see you this morning, Ron. NVIDIA, what are you seeing in NVIDIA? Ron, you trading this one here to the upside. NVIDIA, just big move here, just right along with the market. That would have been a nice call play there. Is Mitch looking for X going to give it to you?
You know, man, I have too many sounds, man. You want to know how many sounds I have on this stream deck?
Yeah, no, I don't, because it's just going to make me jealous. I only have my measly 12. But I know that you recently had to redo your stream deck, so they're probably in different spots, or you're not used to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're in different spots. They all like kind of changed up, so I had to redo it. And when you get used to it, you're like, man, come on, man. You just played a game with me almost. But you guys know it. Moo, baby. Let's go. Let's keep it going. I got a lot in here.
I was going to say, we just got some economic data, guys, that the consumer confidence board number 117 versus 101.8. The estimate, that was the estimate. 110.1 was the prior. And going through the release, the confidence stands at the highest level since July 2021 after the second straight month of gains. And inflation print did come down 1 year, 5.7% estimate, or previously was for 6%. So we are seeing a moderating in inflation, but the highest since July 2021. So since 2 years ago.
All right, guys.
We're gonna need a bigger boat, I think.
I really like CENX for a swing trade here. I'm going double size here on CENX.
Which account?
So the swing trade account. So this is going to be the blue right there. There you guys have it. So I'm going double size here and stepping up to the plate. Why am I doing this? I sometimes feel that having a vision. What? I can see the future. Nah, I'm just playing with you guys. But I'm looking for Alcoa to drive this higher. Look at Alcoa's move today. Aluminum really getting that bounce, and these have been kind of hit really hard as of late. This has gone sideways, and what do I see here on the chart? I see kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, clearly with this kind of neckline approach. So I'm looking for that neckline approach to fill this up there towards 950. You can see a trend line here on the daily. Looking for this to really get up there towards $10. That's where I'll look to kind of sell some up here towards 970s, then look for the $10 rip. A little bit higher. Alcoa reversing today and getting off that bottom. Look at Alcoa's price action today. Boom, to the upside. So we can also look for pullbacks on there. And how did I find this play? You guys might ask. Well, I just used some moo action there, and you guys can see that. Not a bad one there as that keeps going. We'll look to see if this can keep pushing towards the upside, but doesn't look too bad at all. As you can see, what? Copper, steel, and aluminum there. Who's been talking about the basic materials? You guys know what I'm talking about.
And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Oh,
yeah, only more
drop.
cowbells, baby. Only more cowbells. I got a prescription, baby. And I need some more moo. Look at that. Copper, steel, aluminum, and other industrial metals. Who's been talking about basic materials? You know it. Your boy's looking out for you guys.
By the way, real quick, Rustam, hello, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Rustam asked Yosh, can you please take a look? So Yosh, another penny stock here. Yesterday, we actually had a big move in the after hours. Was there news on this, Rustam? I don't see any here. We did pop in the after hours. We've really kind of bled back here. To me, this is a no trade. This is mostly selling volume weakness. Maybe if this RSI gets a little bit lower, we'll see. But Yosh, to me, this looks like no trade here. If we can retake the VWAP and you can get some expanding buying volume, that might change things. ELBM just going again here and pulling back. So bounced off the VWAP, pulling back to the VWAP. ELBM, I mean, even just playing VWAP scalps, ELBM has given us a number of different opportunities here today.
All right, guys, not looking too bad here. Swing trades that are in the red, I have PXD and BJs, but they're just slightly in the red, so I'm just holding on to those right now. PXD actually coming back right now with a nice little spike. We'll look to see if energy gets back to the green today as it starts to get a little bit of a spike there.
Well, I was going to say WTI and Brent closed at their highest levels yesterday in just, I believe, about 3 months. And they were over their 200-day moving average for the first time since August of last year.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney knows I've been kind of keeping a hold of WTI, and I finally let it go, right? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, WTI has been ripping now towards the upside. And you know what gave me the outlook on this? Nick, I don't know if you remember, but the EIA gave an outlook on where oil was going for in July. And it was already the middle of July when they gave that outlook. I was like, how do you give an outlook of where something's going in the month, in the middle of the month, and it's not there yet? So I instantly kind of got a little shook. And I said, I'm cutting my shorts in oil. I'm taking the gains, and I'm actually going to flip here. I'm going to go long because the EIA's outlook of oil to 78, and I was talking about that 72 level on crude being a resistance that it shouldn't go above. Once that happened, I was like, oh yeah, now we're looking a lot better in crude. Now crude is pushing up there to that 78, but what was their outlook for the end of the year is more important here, Nick, which is the outlook of going towards the 80s for the end of the year.
So what does the technical say? Do we push at 80, and then once we give above 80, do we just keep going higher? Do we see $100 a barrel by the end of the year?
What I would say is look at the sector outlook, right? And this is what I like to do a lot of the times, and this is what I call intermarket analysis, right? Let's compare how energy is also to the S&P. What's the relative strength here? the relative strength is actually starting to really kick off. Look at this energy outlook. Look at this sector chart. There's a reason why I've been calling it out as now a breakout versus a breakdown. This looks like a breakout, right? I mean, I think Ryan would even look at this chart and be like, yeah, if I don't look at it as energy and I just look at the chart, I'd be like, yeah, that looks pretty strong to me.
That looks like a breakout to me. You broke out of the trend line, you back tested the trend line, and then moved higher past the
Classic
first high.
move.
I mean, yeah, to me, that's about as good as it gets right there.
So what does the Russian Saudi Arabia cuts do to oil? Does that make it go higher, or do we eventually get a pullback?
Nick, this is the fun part about oil that I think I'll have to give a shout out to my man Joel Alconin, because he really talks about this all the time. There's so much back and forth between the cuts and the supply and the OPEC. One thing that I would try to do more in oil is just focus on the price action. I'm so focused on catalyst a lot of the times in the market, but one thing that happens is like mentions like I got on the EIA. It's a forward outlook that doesn't even truly exist, right? They're just putting a price target out there and then it turns oil around. So is it really driven by supply and demand? No, it's driven more by the psychology of the outlook of where oil is going versus to where oil is today. I'm feeling it today, guys. I'm hot.
We'll have to see how the winter holds up. I think the winter is going into the winter season, I think it's going to mean a lot just because of oil and the different temperatures. And we've seen the grid in Texas with their 100 degrees. I mean, the grid and everything else with just oil. There's a lot to consider.
Let's go. X. Man, I'm struggling today. I can't find the X going to give it to me, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll just sing it myself. X gonna give it to me. He gonna give it to me. X gonna give it to me. Nick's like, no. Oh my God, what did I just witness? Let's go, team. Smash the like out there.
I mean, Mitch, did you see Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson throwing in the towel yesterday? Mea culpa?
Yeah.
But hey, his outlook is still well below.
What happened? What happened?
He threw in the towel and basically said he admitted we were wrong. And in a note to clients, and he raised his S&P target, I think a little bit, 30, I think at 4,000. But he threw in the towel yesterday and says we were wrong. They admitted that they were wrong. And
I personally love that. Okay, I personally love that. I am much more inclined to listen to somebody that says, hey, you know what? I said this in the past, and guess what? I was wrong. If someone is willing to admit to my face that they were wrong, that helps me in building trust for some of their other calls. By the way, CLEU spot here at 185, a little bit of size. They've been hitting it. CLEU might go here. Look at this daily chart. Mitch, what do you think of this? Oh, I don't even have it on the screen. I'm sorry, guys. Let me down here. What do you think of this daily chart? Look at this.
That looks pretty there.
We just broke this here today. Some size at 185. I think if it pops at 185, maybe we go higher.
All right, let me take a look at this daily. Oh,
Jay Rice saying, "Hey Nick, when JPM throws in the towel, I'm going short." There's your entry trigger. Jay Rice,
I do have a JP Morgan update. Marco Kolanovic also said yesterday that a sell-off is coming, but it's unclear when. And he says, "quote We acknowledge that we cannot time this inflection near term, but there are no data points that would prompt us to change our methodology or conclusions."
Pullbacks to 180 makes sense here from here on out on CLEU. Why? Because that's a daily resistance. I'd look for it to start acting as support versus resistance. Steel Dynamics going higher. That's my swing trade today, and not a bad outlook there. Look at Steel Dynamics. Boom, baby. Boom. Let's go. X, baby. X. You know what I got to say?
$1 million.
Oh, that's not a bad drop.
Let's get it, guys. Let's get it, guys. I'm feeling it today. I'm here like,
come on, brain. Think, brain. We're gonna die. Last chance to get out of here. Hello, you working?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it out, guys. 105 now on Steel Dynamics. Looking good there. Lockheed Martin coming back towards VWAP. It went down there to 447. So I might got this trade coming back at me, but I'm going to look for it to come right back towards the 448s and getting below the 448s. That's a big level on the daily that it just stopped right on the heels of. We'll see if this turns around. X, there you guys have it there. Just took some profit on that. Price alert going off also for me. And there you guys have it. Kaboom. We all out there of X. I'll take the money and run up there to 38, right where I expected it coming on the daily. And look at that, guys. Right to the daily resistance on the trend line there. Now at this point, you could hold X. I'm not saying that you can sell it. This was more like my daily, just looking for the trend, right? Now what I did was I swing trade in the industry for longer position, like Steel Dynamics. This one can go all the way to that trend line that I'm looking for on the daily. And that's like kind of a move closer towards like 107. So I'd rather take this one that could really start pushing. And I like this company a little bit more on the longer term is Steel Dynamics. And you could also look at Nucor. Look at Nucor today. Nice little push higher. Of course, this is the kind of like the best of breed in the industry. And I like how this pushed higher, went back below, now recovering and pushing through the daily resistance here as you're starting to see steel getting stronger. And I talk a lot about this on Start Swing Trade, guys. So if you guys are not catching kind of this kind of rotationary talk, the trends, I think it's so important to stay with the trends and what areas are looking hot so that you guys can find the plays, right? Because I can tell you guys steel is looking good. And then you guys go looking to try to find what type of plays are looking good in steel. That's probably going to be the best way that I can try to help you guys is only pointing towards the trends and rotation that I'm seeing.
Real quick here, just wanted to mention this. Jenny from the block, by the way, CLEU through on that 185 there. So CLEU moving here. I'm in from 184. Let me set a stop here so this trade doesn't go red. We'll see. This is kind of a grinder. We'll see if this goes anymore. Anyway, ALLO. Jenny saying, got my load of ALLO yesterday. It's still a good buy here. It's poised for a short squeeze in the next 1 to 3 weeks. So the one thing that I'm looking at here, first of all, it does look like ALLO might trade back down to this 450 level. However, if it holds this 495 here, we might be good. And as far as what Jenny's talking about with the short interest, she's spot on. This is 41.5% of the float shorted, 6.858 days to cover. Now, it's worth noting that this is a massive drop off from the 20 and 16 days to cover that we had before. That tells me that some shorts did cover this up. But based on the float percentage, there's still a healthy amount of shorts in here. So, Jenny, I agree with the premise that this can probably go. Looking at the chart, really need to hold 495. If we break it, 450, probably the next test. I have no position in ALLO, but just monitoring the short interest here, that one, I understand the trade thesis here. That actually looks pretty decent. You guys are still mentioning AU. Becca, you were on oh my goodness. Becca, you were on this right out of the open here. We did halt. We came almost all the way back and almost round tripped that first move. And now we're back up here. Now, AURC, by the way, stopped out of CLEU there. That's just a small gain. That'll get me a drink to go with my lunch money that I had earlier. AURC here, this right back up. It'll be interesting to see if this pops through 20 again. Round number here might give you another pop. Great eye on this, Bex.
CCJ, let's go, guys. Getting towards a new high, at least on the intraday there, now towards 33.32. So looking really good there on the Moo trade as we go higher. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why we stay in the swing trade life. That's why I try to expand the winnings. Now let's see if we can get it to the upside there, get it through the daily high of 33.48, and then above like 33.50s. We can maybe get a full point on this name and then take that and run. We'll see what happens there. CCJ. That's probably going to help out Valet get a little bit higher.
Yeah,
Valet
I would
up
imagine.
to 15.28. Those look good. There was another one that I talked about earlier today that gave me an alert that I wasn't able to get, guys, just because there's so much going on. You can't get it all, right? Well, look at tech. This is one stock that I really like on the daily. That's giving me a daily alert. Now really starting to go higher. Look at this trade. Look how this sets up. Ooh, look at that nice little trend line break. Boom. I've been looking for these guys. Look at that. That's looking good there on tech. And that's in the same space as also Rio. Look at Rio going higher. This one's a little bit harder to trade because the gaps everywhere. But This is why I'm in this space, industrial metals and minerals. And then I'll go back to just using Moomoo, right? And you use your multiple tools to tell you what's making moves, other industrial metals, aluminum, steel, copper, lithium battery plays, chemicals. What are all these set industries in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the hottest areas in the market. Where are they at? Lumber also. Basic materials, guys. Basic materials. Big hot day there. Just don't blame me, guys. All right.
Look at Upstart. Look at the move in Upstart. Look at this move off VWAP that Upstart had. You got a 5, baby. You got
what
a
does
5
Upstart
point
do
move.
again? What does Upstart do again? Remember that guy on CNBC? They asked him what it does, and he kind of just says he doesn't know. So I'm kind of replaying that moment. What does Upstart do?
Was that what's his name? And then he I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't hear. I can't hear right now.
Yeah. And then people were giving him shit on Twitter. So he responded with a video of him burning out in the middle of the street in his Lamborghini.
Yeah. So what does Upstart do for people that are not aware?
Upstart provides credit services. The company provides a proprietary cloud-based artificial intelligence lending platform. Mitch, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
AI.
No. You're good.
AI.
You're good.
Not surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
He should have just literally turned around and said,
Minervini.
Mark Minervini. No worries.
I'm trying to read a name that's spelled wrong.
And so one of the things that I would have said is I would have been like, a damn about what Upstart does. I don't care. The stock's going higher, and I think it's going to go higher. That's what I would have said, especially if you get caught like that. You know what I mean? Just stick to your guns.
But maybe that proves a point that maybe you should at least know what a company does before you invest in it.
Not really, though, Nick.
Here's the thing, though. Mitch, let me jump in here. Here's the thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I've traded plenty of companies that I don't know what they do. CLEU that I was just trading, I've got no idea. China Education, what could that mean? I don't know. ELBM, I'm not really sure what they do. I'll trade stuff if I don't know what the company does, if there's a technical setup there. But what he should have done was just admitted it. Just say it. Just say, hey, I'm in this for a trade. This is why. I can't tell you what the company does, but this is my, like, to me, it's like, you don't need to know everything that the company does. You probably make better decisions if you do, but don't try to lie about it. Just be honest.
Yeah, that's
the part I don't get.
That's literally what I'm telling you. Oh, alert, guys. This one's looking interesting, guys. ELBM. Look that one up, Ryan. What do you think about that? We traded it already. It looks like it's setting up right now again.
It sure does.
I like it on the 5-minute here. So you got a nice little symmetrical triangle now starting to push a little bit higher. And what it did was it did a little peek out, came back to the 9 EMA, holding the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. Now I'd look for that to take out the resistance. Big trend line here that's going to come and try to push towards is around the 250. Look to see if you see buyers step up in that 250, and then they might want to drive it to the high that it just went towards around the 266. Doesn't look too bad there. And if I measure the flag pattern from here, that's about 60 cents on the breakout. If it breaks out around, let's say 240s here, 60 cents could put it around $3. Pre-market high is going to what? 304. You see how that measurement works there? It works pretty well. And I didn't even look at the pre-market high until I just scrolled back right now, and I could see it's at $3. All right, Hendricks, you're not allowed to hit every button on the keyboard, man. That could cost a lot of money, bud. All right, let's keep going at it, guys. It's been a fast one, guys. I've been hearing everybody just running around. The good old Flintstones. Who was a Flintstone fan?
Never.
A little Bam Bam. I'm a little old, I guess.
I mean, I'm older than you, so WTF.
Hey. Yoshi. Yosh restaurants. Like, I don't know what Yosh does, bro, but trying to break $1 again. That one looks like a crow one.
I mean, we get Google and Microsoft tonight. It will be very interesting to see AI, and it's going to set the tone because we get Amazon and Apple next week. We get Snapchat, we get Visa. So we're really ramping into earnings season. But I mean, Ryan, what happens if Google and Microsoft do miss on revenue? What is this going to set the stage for?
Well, I mean, personally, I think that we are waiting for a sell-off. So I'm hoping that that type of action causes the market to come back in. But one of the things that we've seen is that despite what the numbers report, sometimes the stocks don't trade based on what you would think. What if they both miss and the stock trades up? I mean, first of all, if I was playing for that print, I would be so mad. I'd be so mad. We're extended, they miss, and then the stock ends up going up. I mean, for me, the whole thing with earnings is a gamble. The big thing for me is I want to see how these stocks trade after they have their print. To me, I would guess that if they miss, there's probably a lot of air beneath it to let out.
But I mean, do you have to look in deep in the report to try and justify the miss? Just because, you know, you're going to eventually not, I mean, okay, revenue may come in line, but it's not going to be a big beat. Eventually, you're not going to be able to beat on all metrics. And we know the bar is set high for these tech earnings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, some of them. I mean, I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. And this is exactly why I'm not playing it. I'm my big thing with Google, like for example, today we're waiting for Google's report. My big thing for Google is what's going to be the reaction to this. Because if this thing starts selling off, I'm going to be looking for things like SQQQ and SOXS. I'm going to be looking for some of those short liquid ETF instruments in order to trade that.
And then we have the Fed tomorrow that he may, Powell may allude that we're getting more hikes. I mean, we're already pricing in 2 hikes, but the debate goes on B of A this week and even last week. How do you hike? Do you hike in September or do you hike in November? Because remember, this is going to be after the this meeting in July. This is going to be the longest pause this year because there's no meeting in August.
Yeah, I mean, I think they hike tomorrow.
Hike tomorrow, and then what do you expect for September? Another 25, or do you wait?
Yes, another 20. I'm thinking 2 more 25s. The first one at the next meeting, and then probably in September. That would be my Lou. We talk about making calls. That's going to be my call. We get a 25 bips hike tomorrow, and the same in September.
And then November, they're done. We start pausing.
Well, that's too far out. I mean, I personally think that maybe we could go another 25 to really try and rein in inflation, but I don't want to assume that I know what the Fed is doing.
Well, because I alluded to last night on Twitter that if WTI crude continues to go up and some of these commodity prices, orange juice and wheat, that's going to eventually have inflation edge up.
That's inflationary by itself. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so they're going to have to try and do something to tame inflation. So basically, you can't allude to saying 2 more hikes and we're done. You have to leave the door open.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying here is that I think that the 2 that he's spoken about, I think we're going to get those in the near future. I wouldn't be shocked if we then get a 3rd, although the market doesn't seem to believe that that's the case.
But could you flip November and September? Pause in September, hike in November?
I mean, you could. That would allow them to say, hey, we're just looking at the data. We need more time to look at the data.
I have a lot of questions for the Fed. Maybe I should go down to Washington.
I want to see Nick Brown grilling the Fed members at that press. That would be a sight to see, my man.
I should travel to Washington. Get me in the building.
Becca is saying here, Ryan, totally Barney. So funny story that I know you're making fun of me, which is fine. But the funny story here is that I never really liked the Flintstones. One of my favorite lines from Ocean 11 is when Basher says, unless we intend to do this job in Reno, we're in Barney. And they all look at him like he's crazy. And he goes, Barney Rubble, trouble. So I know Barney Rubble. I know the whole trouble thing, but it has nothing to do with the Flintstones. It has to do with Ocean's 11. Glad to see I give off Barney vibes to at least some members in the chat.
All right, looking for this last little run in CCJ to take the profits and run. Of course, we're talking about the moo action here. Not looking too bad at all here. This one is going to be a nice little one. I'm looking for a little bit more push. Let's see if we can get these stocks to keep running today. It is one of those days where we are getting a little bit of stocks that are getting a nice little push. We'll look for a little bit more here. I would take it all out at the 60 spots. It's almost there. It's at 51s, but I'm just kind of like trailing it right now just in case I need to get out on a pullback. Look at that nice little run, guys. This has not been a bad one at all. I'll show you guys the hourly chart so that you guys can see where we bought it and where I'm looking to sell. And what was the mentality this whole time, right? I think that's also important, as you guys can look at the hourly chart here on the left-hand side. I'll show you guys it right now. It actually looks pretty good here as we're looking to get higher towards the 32.57s for this to keep going, CCJ.
Real quick, I like this. Kind of want to discuss this. This was not on my radar. Jay Rice saying, Nari, very good company, finally making a move. Been buying a little on the dips all around the 55 level. So here's your 55 level. Jay, really good job adding at the bottom here. What's the thesis here? Inari Medical, what do they do? We were just talking about the medical device company focused on developing products to treat patients suffering from chronic venous diseases, peripheral blood vessels, and treats patients suffering from the deep vein thrombosis. Okay. Not something that I'm familiar with here, but looking good in that trade so far. You're already up 5 points. Are you got a price target for us? You think this goes up towards 70?
I mean, just know after Google and Microsoft report tonight, the notes will be flying tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. What do you? It'll be interesting to see if the stock sells off. It'll be interesting to see if we get a bunch of re-ratings lower, right? Because that might.
Well, you know, they reiterate and then it's either they reiterate or up their target, or they downgrade and up their target.
Which either way, I mean, again, lot to see about how these stocks are going to trade after these reports.
AI guidance, how's the cloud doing?
There we go, up there to 33.58, almost going to hit the sell button here. And Moo just trying to get out there. Another little couple cents here. Looking for it. Let's see if I can get it.
All right. So the market was strong out of the gate here. We're kind of turned around. We'll see where that ends up settling. ELBM did knife here. Whoever was calling that, I think it was WIS. Yeah, ELBM did knife here, but it looks like it kind of found that bottom. This kind of goes back to the early morning here. Remember, it did bounce off this spot earlier, so maybe a VWAP reclaim and another attempt at higher here. We'll see. ELBM. Around here, folks.
Let's get it, guys. Trying to get this flawless victory here.
There's a Mortal Kombat fan.
Come on, it got up there to 58. We were close to 60.
Good morning, Judge. Hopefully you're having a great day, my man. Nice to see you.
I was going to say Q2 estimates just got revised up at Goldman Sachs. They think Q2 GDP goes to 2.5%.
ELBM struggling to really continue this bounce. APLD, this was a great WIS. You've been on APLD, it feels like almost every day. This was a nice move here. Two pulls back to VWAP, giving you entry. What was the other wild one? Oh, GFAI. It's on the scanner here. Ooh.
Field dynamics continuing to drive higher. X looking like it might pull back. We'll see what happens on that now. It went to 25.50, so that was a little bit more than I expected it to even go today. So that was a nice little push there. Ballet up at 15.28. CCJ now starting to pull back a little bit, but I don't mind it as long as it can hold 33.38s here.
AGIL halt. Nice little pop on this. AGIL. A little bit of a volume pop here. Rustam's Yosh still on the scanner here. Really holding that bottom, Rustam. So maybe there is the next move here can be higher. Futu, this is of
now back
course
to low VWAP. Just wanted to go ahead and state that. We'll see what happens if we do get a turnaround.
Futu. This is of course the holding companies for Moomoo right here, having a nice little move off the bottom. Really needs to take out 54 to go higher on the daily.
And I have an announcement on Moomoo for you guys, of course. And like always, we're always trying to look out for you guys. There was somebody even right here on this very stream that mentioned, what? Can we get Moomoo in Canada? And guess what I just found out? Moomoo's coming, baby. They're in Canada. Check them out, guys. If you guys want to check out Moomoo for yourself, check it out. We'll see if we can get this profit also in Moomoo today. You guys have seen I've been pushing in the small account challenge, and now to 641, almost 27% up on this account. We'll look to see if we can get some profits today, a little bit higher than the 50s. But yeah, check out Moomoo, guys. Threw up the link there, or you guys can hit the QR code like always right on the screen in the top right corner, or I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. How's this for you? There you guys hit that QR code. Check out Moomoo for yourself. And of course, they always got some free stocks promotions. If you guys are trying to get some free stocks, check it out.
Aura's asking, what are the commissions? There's zero free commissions, no commissions.
Free commissions. Yeah, check it out, you guys. And one of the things that I would tell you guys to do is maybe just check out the platform just for itself first. If you are a little bit iffy, check out the platform. There's a lot of analytics I really love to look at. I love their graphical representation when you get into income statements, you get into financials. This is really going to help you out. And for any reason, go to the analytics tab, tap on that income statement, and you'll learn all about the company, right? If you guys are like, oh, like I need to know about the company, well, here you go. You get a profile, you get an executives, you get this shareholders equity, who holds this, institutionals, what funds have this, has there been any ads, right? Any changes on, are people buying CCJ, or is it institutions buying CCJ? And you can see it here. There's been some recent buying going on. And then you can go into the financial and the analytics here. Understand what makes this company. This is uranium and fuel services that make this company. You can look at key indicators. I mean, come on, guys. Where else are you going to be able to get this? I'll tell you right now, this looks pretty damn good. And
Mitch, I started using that graphical analysis tab after you mentioned it the first time. I really like that. Still, the big thing for me on Moomoo, they have one of the best mobile apps I've seen yet. I much prefer it to TD's mobile app. It is so good. The markets page is my single favorite page of any app out there, and I use that all the time. Whether I'm using the Moomoo account or not, I still use the tools. It's absolutely excellent. Top is asking here, is Benzinga Pro?
What do you think, guys? What do you think? What was I doing when I was out getting my orange juice? I was watching my CCJ position, man. Look at that. Moomoo right here, guys.
I mean, look how clean that looks. You even got level 2 on there.
You got level 2 time and sales, man. Where else do you get in that, guys? Check it out, guys.
Really quick, Tapas is asking, is Benzinga Pro zero commission too? Tapas, Benzinga Pro is not a broker.
It's zero commissions, but
yeah, it's zero commissions because you don't actually make trades from it. It's a news and ancillary tool to provide you trading ideas.
You can send us the commissions for bringing you guys the tools. How's that? All right, let's see if I can get this last little lift here in CCJ. Starting to get a little pullback in the market, so we got to be careful out there. All right, how's the SPY doing? SPY holding VWAP right now. We'll look to see if those hold VWAP, or will we see a little bit of downside action in the market today? What is leading the market? Basic materials. That's why I'm trading a lot of them. But a lot of them have already run a pretty decent amount. So you could see some pullbacks come into play here. We'll see what happens. Healthcare pulling back. Technology has already pulled back. Industrial is pretty strong today. And that's actually helping hold the defensive area that was getting hit earlier. But it's in different areas that's doing well today. You guys can look at shipping and trucking. That's one thing I definitely see there doing well today. So truck stocks are usually cheap. So keep your eyes on some of these as those go higher today. I'm going to look to see which one of those looks actually pretty good that actually trades a decent volume, because truck stocks are hard to trade.
Real quick, Becca gave us Stakeholder Foods. Remember, this is 3D printed steaks. Becca gave this
good
to us
Lord.
yesterday. This is up 32%. Mitch, this has got to be your new favorite stock. Becca wants you to buy steak.
I had this whole
House.
conversation yesterday.
Stakeholder.
I gotta admit, I was a little bit savage yesterday in my comments, but you guys know I try not to hold it back. Everyone remembers poor Susie the cow. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'll tell you that.
No reason to do it. One thing to keep in mind here on STKH, if this stock has an outsized run, this is at risk of doing an offering. So keep that in mind if you hold this overnight.
Watch Apple shares. There's a headline just crossing that it says the French antitrust arm files a statement of objection against Apple. Shares are watching them on my screen here. They're about higher by 0.3%. Nothing too big. They did pop, and now they're coming back just a little bit. So watch Apple. Trying to dig deeper into this new report, and once the report is released, I'll probably have some more.
All right. Sports Center drop. All right. By the way, GFAI, that we've been mentioning this a number of times here today. GFAI, okay, chart. You gonna die on me there? Come on now. GFAI maybe through 750 here. It's actually doing a good job of holding this last move up and then staying above the VWAP. So maybe through 750 here on GFAI.
Everyone's still like, dude, 3D printed steaks. I hear you guys. I hear you.
Oh, Rigetti, this has been a nice move. This was on the list the other day.
Rigetti.
Nice push off that VWAP at 181.
Whatever happened to RXRX?
Yeah, I saw that mentioned earlier. Took it off my screen. Haven't seen it
It's
since.
just hanging out. It's not doing much.
Yeah,
it ain't breaking down at
all
least.
the way back in.
It ain't breaking down at least. That's for sure. All right, looking around, guys. Affirm doing well today. That's a nice daily chart that started to take the next step up there to 1776. I'd be looking for pullbacks now to 1730s. Makes sense for me, but it is trying to bounce off the VWAP here on Affirm. I'll show you guys that chart right now. Just give me a second here as I put it really big for you guys. We'll look to see if Affirm goes higher back through the 18s. Nice little setup here as this was pulling back here on the 5-minute, now holding the VWAP for the third time. I really like when stocks do this. When it goes to VWAP once, twice, third time, tries to get to it, rejects that, now starts to make the move. This doesn't look too bad here. We'll look to see if Affirm can make the next step up here. Pullbacks make sense around like the 55s now that it already ripped through that line. I'd look for that volume to hold, get back up there to 18. We'll see what happens on that one. Upstart doing so well that I can see that one kind of taking the lead and maybe Upstart continuing. We'll see. Carvana also on the rip. These are stocks that love to rip. So Carvana maybe might get the push here towards 47. We'll look to see if it gets the lift right back above 47. That could be for like kind of the holding of this trend line, holding up this gap, right? This 44.50s seems to be holding. Will it make a move to 47? Will it fill the gap back down a little bit more? All right. We'll look to see if CCJ gets a little bit higher now towards 57. So, guys, I'm enjoying this little move here. We're about to take some profit there on the Moo trade. And I sometimes you just got to take the money and run, right? I mean, this has been a definite good one here. Not going to be mad about that one. I have been looking for a nice little win. This one's not a bad one here at all. Let's see if we can get to the 60s here. I know there's some sellers lined up there in the 70s, so I'm keeping an eye on that. Here's 58s. Now we'll get into the 60s in just a second here. I'm at 62s or 63s, 32 63s, but I don't mind taking just 60s, right? I'm not going to be mad if I give up like 10 cents. This is almost up 2.8%. So it's all about the swing trades, right? Kind of keeping them in mind right now. It's pretty much like a 0.4% risk for a 2.8% gain. I'll take that anytime. There's 59s on the offer. So what we're going to do is I'm already going to throw out the 60s here. There's 60s on the offer. Can we get filled on the offer? We'll see what happens. I'm going to have my order out at 33.60s. Boom. There we go, guys. We just got filled. That is some profits. And that is what I call a
flawless victory.
There it is.
Flawless, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Cressy, I'm seeing those reports too. Bronny, LeBron James's son, suffered cardiac arrest on the court, but he is in stable condition and out of the ICU, thankfully.
Not something you want to hear, of course.
Nope.
But hey, healthy. You got to be healthy. And it's dangerous when we are seeing things like that happen to athletes consistently as of late.
Yep.
Steel Dynamics.
By the way, Grab. This was some of the free shares that I got for in the Moomoo account. Grab up again. So this is actually pretty cool. I know, Mitch, I know you sold out of this. For me, though, I'm just going to hold it. It's 5 shares. It's really not that big of a deal. And I got them for free. So I kind of want to just kind of hang on to this and hope that one day I wake up and it goes to 15, either on a buyout or on some crazy trading or something like that. That'd be pretty sweet. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I can't blame you for it, man. Can't blame you. All right. Not a bad one there. Oof. It's been a crazy one. Humble, you found a chop fest, man. I didn't have that bad of a day. I just stuck to what was doing well. Maybe there was some chop fest in the other sectors. I'm sorry that I wasn't covering them as much as I normally do. Kind of just stuck to what was working today. And sometimes it's a little bit harder because I'm able to trade different stocks. I know a lot of people are probably watching some different stocks, like financials are just kind of break even. Cyclicals are in the red here. Technology is just slightly up. So there's going to be a mixed bag there. There's a lot of pullbacks there on Apple, Microsoft pulling back there. Of course, Google reports tonight. I wonder how that was going to trade today, and it's actually coming down now. So we could see a little bit of a drag here. It's just been a little bit of a chop in some of these tech names today. That's one thing that I'm seeing. Lockheed Martin position I opened up today, that's just slightly in the red. I'm looking for this to kind of come right back down and not get back above the 453s. Will Lockheed Martin come right back down? See what happens there. All right, looking around, guys, it's about 10:48, guys, and we do not have all access after this, but what we do have, of course, is Benzinga Live. That's coming to you at 11, so don't go anywhere. You guys will get AB, of course, on that show. Stick around if you guys want to check out AB.
And I'll even say we have an exclusive interview, a big interview on that show. Fundstrat's Tom Lee will be joining AB and I coming up at 11:30 at the bottom of the 11 a.m. hour.
That is a good one. You guys got Tom Lee.
Yes, I reached out and he said, sure. So we'll be talking inflation, the Fed, anything that you want us to cover, let us know. But yes, Fundstrat's Tom Lee, and I believe Dan Ives will probably be on our air either this week or next week. So don't want to miss that.
Real quick here. Craig is saying you guys need to get rid of that Twitter bird and put up the X. So I don't know if anyone saw this, but did anyone see that if you zoom in like 64,000% on the X, the Twitter logo is actually embedded in one of the corners?
I did not see that.
Let me see if I can find this for you. Give me a sec. How much time do we have before we jump? I'll be able to find this for you. Just give me 1 sec. Not watching the market though.
Well, I was going to say, Ryan, did you see where Elon Musk was trying to take down the Twitter sign yesterday, and the police stopped him because they didn't rent the equipment. They just started blocking off the roadway, and the cabs couldn't get through, so police had to shut down the road.
No, I did not see that.
Yes, it was trending on X yesterday afternoon, but I am still going to call Twitter just because Community Notes actually flagged somebody when they says, what are we tweeting? No, we're Xing. There was actually Community Notes flagged and says, no, this is how to tweet. So we're actually still tweeting.
Yeah, I mean,
on X.
Like I told you yesterday, it could be called X. I'm tweeting. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, folks, here we go. Let me see if I can make this. Oh, wait, let me see. I can't see. Gee, for heaven's sakes.
All right, starting to get some pullback in the market here, guys. Just be careful, guys. Out there, starting to see a little bit of some pullback there. Alcoa just continuing CENX, looking good for me on that swing trade.
Okay, you ready for this? Get ready to have your mind blown. Get ready to have your mind blown. Here's the Twitter X logo in Adobe Illustrator. You ready?
There it is.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
So there you go, folks. Let me exit full screen here.
It's still Twitter, bro.
It's still Twitter. You do what you need to do. It is still Twitter. So I thought that was pretty cool, actually, when I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he had already filed for X. I think this was just a battle back to Zuckerberg. Let's just be honest. That's what this was. This was a Zuckerberg. You know, I have X coming soon, right?
But don't they have the trademark there? Then
Yeah.
in Microsoft, there's some trademarks that now that we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that the battle here is going to be when does Twitter actually change to X? Because we know that's what Elon wants to do.
Yeah, that's what he wants. That's what Linda Yaccarino tweets. But they got to get their ducks in a row over there first.
Yeah.
Real quickly here, Aura Alpha asking me, Ryan, what broker are you on? Toss, I'm guessing. Yes, I use Toss. Here, let me see if I can help you out, Aura. Let me see if I can do stop screen share, present, share screen, and then we need the window. So just so you know what I'm looking at here, let me see if I can find it for you. Here you go. All right, here you go. This is the screen that I am actually executing orders in. Okay, so for any of you that are wondering, yes, I use the Thinkorswim downloadable platform. My brokerage is housed at TD Ameritrade. This is effectively what I'm using. I got a 1-minute chart right in here. I have a 5-minute chart and a daily chart here. Always watching the SPY, always watching the ES, and then also watching the NICE tick. This is going to be my level 2. I call it a ladder because it just reminds me of a ladder. I can execute orders right from here, and this gives me the time and sales on the back.
Starting to see a little breakdown here in the market, guys. Be careful there. I can see some pullbacks happening in technology as we speak. Microsoft starting to pull back. The Q starting to pull back. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a leak, but I don't think it's going to be massive. I think it's just kind of an in-between day, and that's okay. We could have a little bit more of an in-between day now moving forward. Why? Because everyone's just going to wait to see what happens with Microsoft earnings and Google earnings. That's going to drive the boat tonight, and starting to see a little bit of leaking in the market where it's like, I don't think it's going to be like a huge drag down on these stocks, but I also don't see them just ripping higher right now. Of course, they could hold these like kind of 5 or 15-minute levels. You can see it on the hourly right now. You can see the support, but if that starts to give, then the leak starts to come in. So we'll see what happens as they reverse off these levels, or do we see a cut down, let's say on Google to 121? That would be that relief of that 1 hour support. And then you start going lower towards 121. We'll see what happens here. Big important spot here for Google. If you all of a sudden get a big green bar back towards 123, then yeah, we'll start looking for the Qs to rip to the upside. And you can look for other tech stocks that kind of catch the bid and go higher. Right now, you can even see NVIDIA pulling back, right? I'd wanted to hold this support if I was like kind of trading it here around the 453.80 spot, or maybe 453.75, move back to 450, and you just shake all the buying. All right, let's see what else is going on in the market. Just a lot going on today. Steel has been ripping, so thinking about maybe taking a little bit of profit.
New ticker JNVR. Looks like we popped as high as 550. This has really kind of come in sitting around the VWAP. I need to watch this trade. I have no feel on this. I wouldn't take this unless I had some type of angle on how it trades. But new ticker, worth watching.
Unity looks a little toppy. Needs to recover 45, at least for right now. It could pull back a little bit towards like 40s and then still kind of hold the trend in the long term. I'd be looking for pullbacks closer back towards that 40 on Unity if I want to join the party now. because I'm a little late to the game. This has already ran quite a good amount, and I can see what 1, 2, 3 patterns. A lot of times when I see about 3 patterns that the stock tried to drive up, I can see the correction coming through. And right now that'd be correction, maybe getting closer towards 40 and then coming back through that 45. I know Sam was asking about Unity. Got you, my friend. A lot of names being mentioned in the chat there. IMPX. So that one at 34 cents, a fabulous 34 cents.
Someone in the chat was asking about Walmart because it was spiking a little bit higher. It was lower. They did get a reiteration of their from Piper Sandler. They actually upgrade Walmart to overweight from neutral. They say Walmart can take share, even more market share on groceries. We believe as grocery inflation subsides, Walmart has an opportunity to further extend market share gains, and we upgrade the stock to overweight.
There you go. Doesn't seem too bad. We're going to look for some pullbacks later in the day on tech. I
was going to say they even get an upgrade over a price target. Their price target gets upgraded to 210 from 145. So roughly about 32% upside from Monday's close of 159.30.
All right, guys.
What's this?
Hilton getting hit today on that turnaround there. I'm out at Hilton on that turnaround, but it's coming right back up through 50s. So could have stopped me out on that 48 move earlier today. It got me out a break even. That's what I wanted to get out of. Now it's coming right back. But hey, you know how it goes. But Hilton doesn't move too much, so I'm not stressing too much. We'll look to see if it breaks 152 a little later today. That still looks good for seeing a recovery there, and maybe Airbnb today. We'll see if that does recover. That looks strong right now, Airbnb.
APLD, more highs. God, APLD, what a call from the group here earlier. APLD. BFRG retook 5. Watch for this this afternoon. Keep this on your watch list. Watch this for maybe a late day run, especially if we cross through that VWAP BFRG.
Okay. Doesn't look too bad there. I like it.
No, it doesn't.
I like it, the hourly chart. So the hourly chart did a quick pullback towards the support, created that 468 down there. Now I'd like to see it hold, like you're saying, around like the 5s, right? Like reclaim 5 and then hold that. That's exactly what you've gotten now. A little bit of a test to the down to the 490s. I could risk off the 490s here and look to see if it gets back up there to 550s and above. Doesn't look too bad, actually, really. Could be about $1.60 run here if it really starts pushing. What's the volume looking like? It's already up there to 508. It was just below 5s at like 489. How's the other AI plays doing? AI right off the VWAP too. So
I haven't looked at regular AI in a few days here, just ticker AI.
It's right off VWAP right now, at least on the intraday. Trying to reclaim 40 there. What's the other one? BFAI? What was it?
Yeah, this to me actually, I mean, I know we're kind of compressing in here, but I wouldn't be shocked if this kind of went lower.
Where's the other AI names? Are those moving? IonQ continuing the daily grind higher. One doesn't look too bad on the day. Logitech ripping to the upside today. That's actually looking pretty strong, man. I know that had earnings, right? If you want to maybe cover that, Nick. I think it was Logitech that had earnings.
Yeah, they did. They were strong.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little bit more confident about like looking at other trades to see maybe if they come back.
By the Speaking, Nick, before you go here, one of the things that Logi is doing right now is a potential floating island trade. So I want to see how this stock trades over the next few days. We'll check back in on this, but here's your pop up into an island. We'll see if this consolidates, comes back and holds, and then gives us a setup for a swing long on Logi. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
I was going to say they reported earnings this morning. 65 cents, beat the 45-cent estimate. Sales came in at 974.5 million, beats the 912.3 million. They raised its H1 2024 outlook. They see sales of 1.875 billion to 1.975 billion. Prior, it was 1.8 to 1.9. And then for full year 2024, they expect sales of 3.8 billion versus to 4 billion versus the 4.1 billion. But if you look inside the numbers, like they expect non-GAAP operating income 400, 500 for full year. If you look inside the numbers, they are pretty healthy, and so that's why the stock is moving higher this morning.
All right. Well, coming up, guys, you guys will get all into it, of course, with Nick Brown also giving you guys a nice report there, and Kaju ETF. Get into some AI outlook into the market. That's coming up next with AB. So don't go anywhere, guys. It's 11 a.m. We're done here. You guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to end this show and bring you right to that show. You guys don't go anywhere. Stick around, team. A lot more for you guys right here, of course, on Benzinga. We'll see you next time. Ryan,
take care. See you
Faloona,
tomorrow.
Nick Brown. You guys see it. News
Thanks.
by Nick, R. Faloona, Money Mitch BZ. We'll see you next time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We give a lot of outlooks here, not just only some trading action. We'll see you next time. Smash the like, guys. All right, now to bring you guys over to AB. That's starting up in just a second, so don't go anywhere, team. Stick right here, and you'll get the next ones coming up right now.